Now in the next example we do what is commonly called the quick change. This is measure 2, where you will hit the 4 chord. It provides a little more harmonic relief from that constant 1 chord. We have a jam track for this, so let's listen to it. Make sure you're listening to the bass line. That's what you're cueing your harmonic ideas off of. That's how you know what to play. Here it go to that 4. It stepped up, came back down. Now this jam track combines all of the previous examples with the inclusion of this quick change. Here are the changes. I'm going to call them out. You can read them. They're right in front of you, but I'm going to call them out so you'll see them. Your 1, 4, 1. There's your 4. Then back to the 1. Up to the 5. 4, 1, and then back to the 5. Makes it want to start over again. Alright, now I'm not going to demonstrate the boogie woogie. I'm not going to demonstrate the guide tones. I've already done all that in the previous example. I told you that I was going to show you how to add other voices to create some chord voicings. We have a structure. Let's take a moment and look at this. Here's your root for this A7 chord. Your flat 7, your 3. That needs to be memorized. I don't want you fumbling around for that because it'll take too long for you to access anything else. So memorize this mapping on the fingerboard. If we want to add another voice, we have the next string up, and I speak in terms of pitch. Up is this way on the right hand. You see what I'm doing? The notes get higher as you go to the thinner strings. So the second string will be the highest voice if we add it in there. Now a little bit of information. Voices are numbered from the highest in pitch to the lowest. Our previous structure was a 3-note structure, so the first voice was the 3rd string, and it was the 3rd of the chord. Keep track of what I'm saying. The second voice was the flat 7, and it was on the 4th string. Your third voice was the 6th string. It was the root. Remember our theory. A dominant 7th chord is 1, 3, 5, flat 7. So when we played this 3-note structure, we did not have a 5 in the chord, the E note, right there. We can add that over on the 2nd string. Now you might say, well, why don't I add it right down there? Well, the reason is it can get a little muddy, and I want to show you how to access these higher notes. And by the way, this stuff you're going to learn right now in terms of voices added to the chord, put it in the memory bank, because when you solo, you need to see the exact same notes, the same numbers, and think in terms of the chord, just like a pianist would. If we add that E in there, this would give us an A7 voice. You probably know this big block voicing. That's a 6th voice chord. It's a little weighty, so I suggest you start from these lean approaches and add to them and learn how to build your own chord voicings. That would give us our A7 chord. Now when we go to the D7 chord, we're actually going to double the root. So we have a D right here, that's our root, our 3rd and our flat 7, so we're going to double the root up there. This gives us a good 4-note voicing. Standard fare. Let's play along with the track using these chord voicings. Alright, enough of that. Let's take it and delete the bass line, because if you're in a band, you don't have to hit the bass note. The bass player might like it if you stayed out of his space. Take what you just learned and delete the bass line. This gives you 3-note voicings. And again, should it matter what fingers I use? It shouldn't matter at all how I finger these. It might look different if you're looking at my fingers. Don't look at my fingers, look at the shapes on the fingerboards. That's why you want to plot this stuff out. I'll play it with just these 3-note structures. Now you saw me doing a couple little things. If you don't know these licks, I'll show them to you very quickly. The dominant 7th chord consists of the root, 3rd, 5th, and flat 7. Well, you might already know your minor pentatonic scale, and you know that that has that flat 3. That's called a blue note. It's the minor 3rd. You want to resolve that up to the 3rd. Now, if you're playing lead, you can bend it, but I want you to think like a pianist. A piano can only play one note and then the next pitch. They can't get in between in the cracks, so to speak. Look at these little 3-note structures that you arrived at. Know where the 3rd is, and simply go flat 3 to 3. It'll always be like that when you're coming out of this voicing. And here's your D7. There's the 3rd, so the flat 3. Already it's starting to sound a little hipper. If you vary what you're doing with your right hand, you've got some rhythm going on. Now in the next segment, I'm going to show you how to add some more voicings to these existing voicings, and also we're going to do a couple more progressions.